Okay, so I just wanted to walk you through this Canva process because it can be just a little bit tricky, and I found some new things actually when I was creating this tutorial on the first round. So I just wanted to make sure that this video is pretty quick and thorough. So my thought was that you can create a design that may or may not have some sort of video element to it and embed the design onto your Squarespace page. So a good example of that is this one, which I have created in Canva using static imagery and blocks and stuff like that. This is all editable text, and that's just a background rectangle color. That's also just a background. This is just a background. You can actually have an image here instead, all kinds of good stuff. So all of this is easily editable. And what I did was I clicked on the ellipsis and then see all and scroll down and then click embed. Embed again. And then I copied that link, the Smart Embed link, and then I embedded it onto my website. So a good example of that is my Hartford template, which is available in my Squarespace template shop. This is the memberships page for that template. And you can see I have 3 Canva designs embedded here. So one of the really neat things about these is that you can actually choose an area. I think I selected all of these elements. Yeah, they're all grouped. So then I added a link and then I linked it to my contact page in that template. So once you hit apply, it'll be linkable. And you can see down here in the bottom left, the absolute left of my screen, that's the link that it's going to. So if I click, it'll open a new tab and it'll go to the contact page. And in this case, that's where they would choose the membership and submit a form or whatever. So that's how that works. And the one thing that I will tell you is that it becomes cumbersome if you add pages to these because they don't all display as separate images on first glance. So I would keep it to one page. If you want to have multiple packages, I would just duplicate. So file, make a copy, and then do the new design in the copy. Same thing if you have 3 or 4. So I've got 3 or 4 set up, and we're going to embed them. So I guess it's embed, embed, and there are 2 ways that you can do this. If you do the link, you would click embed and then paste the URL here. So let's do one more. Embed, embed, copy, paste, apply. Let's drag this down next to the other one. There we go. Let's add 2 more. Okay. Go back to this. See all. Embed, embed, copy, paste. See all. Embed, embed, copy, paste. Okay. So now I have all 4 of them embedded. And the ones that I've added links to will link to that new page. So this is method number 1, where you only use the link. That means no code, essentially. Option number 2, let's go ahead and set up 4 of these. Okay. Option number 2 is to grab the embed code. So copy, and that's the top one. Before we were selecting the bottom one. So grab the code by hitting copy and then go back to your embed block. This time you click on the code icon and then paste, set, apply. So I'll tell you the caveats for this in a second. We'll go ahead and put all of these in. Okay, now that they're all in, you can see kind of a difference. So these all have this weird document title and then by the owner of the Canva account who created it. And okay, let's say I don't like that and I don't want that to be there. So go back to the embed settings, click the embed icon, scroll all the way to the bottom. And if you delete this text, it will get rid of the document title. And then if you delete your by text, it'll delete that. So make sure that you keep the brackets because those are part of the code. Only delete the text outside of those. So click set and apply and you can see that it goes away. So I'll do that for the rest of them. Okay, so now that those are gone, okay, so this is a great example of actually removing something that needed to be there. So let's take a look. So it looks like I accidentally deleted one of the brackets on that. And if you mess it up, you can always go back and copy the original, paste it in. Okay, so don't mess it up because then you can't get it to be the normal embed. Weird. Okay, good to know. So whatever I did, it created some memory in the cache on my computer, so it's not going to let me go back to the regular embed style. But I'll go ahead and delete that text. So at least the text isn't there. Looks like it did the same thing for this one. So be really, really careful when you delete that. Make sure you do not remove any of the brackets in the code or it messes up. Okay, so the difference between these, obviously, is that some of these have tabs and some of them don't. And what I have found is that when you go to copy the code, if you get the HTML copied, it doesn't add the tab for some reason. But if you grab the link, it will. So that's the difference between those two things. Once you've saved it out, that's how it will look. So on this one, I have a link there and I linked it to the contact page, so that's where it opens. So the other caveat about installing the HTML by itself, while it doesn't have the tab at the bottom, it also doesn't display the image in full without them playing the animation. So that part's a pretty downside. Also, it has this nice little black thing across the top and the bottom, which is unsightly. So my suggestion would just be to go ahead and use the smart URL link so that you can get rid of most of those things. I did notice too when I was embedding these that the wider the page is, the more likely those black things will stay. So if I delete this one, suddenly they have more room to take up, which means the height's more important, or I guess the width is more important than the height. So it adds extra space to keep the same rectangular size. So just keep that in mind when you embed them. So this method has a lot of quirks, but they can be really attractive if you feel comfortable tweaking these kinds of things.